Welcome! You are listening to RiaTalk for Ria People, the official podcast of the marrying kind, where we're always keeping it real regarding love, families, and relationships with a biblical perspective. And here's your host, Maria.
Hello, hello, hello. I'm so glad to be here.
Oh, I thought you had finished your intro. So let's get into the topic, single by choice. What does that mean? What does that mean to you?
You know, I thought about it. Single by choice is someone who has made a decision to not be in a serious relationship at this time in their lives. They're maybe working on themselves, working on their careers, whatever, but they have made a conscious decision not to be in a marriage or a committed relationship.
Single by choice to me, I agree with that. That means the same thing to me. But it also means when I hear anyone say single by choice, it seems like it has a negative connotation. Like they've been through some stuff and they are opting to be single because it's rough out there. I was just telling my friend about this.
It's rough out there for a player.
It's rough out there, not even for a player, for anybody. People are savages. They have no home training. And it's hard to get to know someone and get close to someone when people are so selfish.
Well, I always like to look on the positive side. Mm-hmm. You know, the world, like you said, when the world gives you lemons, make lemon meringue pie. You don't have to make just lemonade. There's all kinds of good stuff you can make with lemons. But I always look at there's a reason for you coming in contact with people who are selfish, people who are savages, you know. Now you know what type of people to stay away from.
But it's hard when there's so many people out there. I was just talking to my girlfriend, and we were comparing notes. You know what an F-boy is? Do you know what that is?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we have out here in these streets.
An F-boy is someone that just want to have sex?
No, just waste your time. Not only do they want to have sex with you, but they use up a lot of your time, use up a lot of your money. F-boys are charming individuals and seem like potential mates. Amanda Seals talks about this. Seem like potential mates.
So what does the F mean?
You already know what it means.
I just asked you, did it mean somebody want to have sex with you?
No.
What does
so you don't know what that means?
I guess not.
No. The F is F-U-C-K.
That's what I thought it
Right,
meant.
but they're not trying to that's not the only thing they're doing.
Oh.
They just waste your time. They're just losers and leeches. They leech your money.
So they're screwing you around both literally and figuratively.
Yes, exactly. Right. So they waste your time. They waste your money. They waste it, it's just, and that's what a lot of people are dealing with. A lot of, not only girls are dealing with this, but there's some F girls around, but there's a lot of F boys. I don't really hear guys talking so much about F girls. But
One reason you might not be hearing guys talk about it because maybe guys talk more to other guys.
Right.
And we generally know when people are talking about marriage and serious about relationship, it usually is the female. Mm-hmm. Who else is buying Steve Harvey's book, Think Like a Lady Think Like a Man, Act Like a Lady, and all these other various relationship books, going to relationship seminar, having relationship consultation.
But that also plays into the F-boy. That's what I'm talking about. They don't care about no relationship. That's what I'm saying. You have it's an uneven number of people. You see all these women that are like trying to figure out, trying to get it together. But what the problem is, they're dealing with F-boys, and now you have a huge percentage of women saying, you know what, I want to be single by choice. Because I don't want to waste my time no more.
It's not about wasting your time. I always say, people like, I've talked with like 2 or 3 clients in the past week who generally say, turn off your phone, Alexi. Sorry, we want to apologize to our podcast members and people that are listening to this podcast, but we told you it is real talk for real people. That means some real stuff is going down here.
So you said you talked to, I apologize about that. So you talked to about 2 clients, and what happened?
A few clients this past week, and they were talking about being happy, and like you said, single by choice. Single by choice, people just want to be happy.
Right.
And some people decide not to engage in relationship because it brings more unhappiness than happiness.
Isn't that the truth? Because I could do bad by myself
all day long. But you can also do good by yourself, too. And that's what I would like to say. When you're single by choice, I always say, I always tell people, there's a chapter in my new book, You Are the Marrying Kind 2, that will be coming out soon in September at the latest. It said, don't drink the Kool-Aid. We see Instagram posts of happy relationship. We see TV and all these programs, but real relationship takes real work. And relationships are not easy because people are not easy. People are complicated, which is another chapter in my book. It's complicated relationship. So you got to be ready and willing to bring your own happiness. You've done the work on yourself. And you're not relying on someone else to make you happy. When you get in a relationship, you want to share the happiness that you already bring with you, knowing who you are in this world and liking what you present to the world.
See, I think you're misunderstanding because it's not that I'm not sharing, or these girls who are or these people, these individuals who are saying they're single by choice, they're not sharing the happiness. It's not being reciprocated. So really, it's just a one-sided relationship.
Yes, and one-sided relationship never worked. God made us. He said, give and it shall be given. That means there's no reciprocity.
Right. None. And these people are basically in a relationship with themselves, and this person is a placeholder. That's how it is for a lot of my friends.
But it's a choice because nobody's holding the gun to anybody's head, or no one is making you stay in a relationship. If it's not working for you, move on because you're not married. In a marriage, you got to work on it a little bit. And even if you have to get a divorce in a marriage, you should work your way out of it. Do everything you can to save that marriage, to save your relationship. And even then, it still may not work out. And that's okay. But as I heard Dr. Phil say, and I loved when he said that, you shouldn't just I'm not happy, I want a divorce. Well, you got to figure out what makes me happy. What can make me happy within this relationship. And when a person find that they're in a relationship and it's a one side, I'm giving, I'm doing all the work, I almost got to pull teeth to talk to him. If it's too much work for you, which is probably too much work for any human being, rational, unless you a Satan masochist and you like torture, you like hurting yourself, and most of us are real normal people. We don't like to cause emotional or physical pain to ourselves, at least not to a serious degree.
So what do you say to someone who's what do you say to the people who are single by choice?
I say that it's a good thing. I think it's a good thing. Some people, we encourage marriage with the marrying kind. RiaTalk is part of the marrying kind, where we believe in supporting families. One of our mantras is transforming families one marriage at a time. So marriage is important, and I encourage marriage. But at some moments, you may have to stop. You may have to pause. You may have to reverse, like putting the car in reverse. You have to retrace your step and say something is wrong. This relationship is not quite working. So you may want to talk with the person you're involved with, and say, this is not working for me. And here are the things that are not working for me. I'm doing everything in this relationship. And you're not bringing anything to the table. I'm not talking about financial. I mean, you got to plan all the trips.
100%.
You got to do all the work of having fun in the relationship. That's a one-sided. And many men I've learned from talking to some clients and some family members, some friends who are male. Almost every one of the males I've talked to, including including relatives. They want a woman to take care of them.
Facts, 100% facts.
So, but you can't change other people. You can only change yourself. We're only responsible for our behavior. If someone is behaving in such a way that it's not working for you, stop trying to, he's just changed, he's making me mad. Move away from that person. Move on. Be single by choice if necessary. But because you bringing your own happiness, you doing the work with yourself. Hey, what makes you happy? It makes me happy when I get my nails done. It makes me happy when I go on trip and see new places. It makes me happy when I see the sunshine and I can go to the park and or to the beach and have my book or have my phone, and I can go to the beach by myself if necessary or with friends. And that is single, if you want to be single by choice. But there's a poem by my friend. His name is Isaiah Cunningham. And it's in my book, You Are the Marrying Kind, to his poem. It says, God has made nothing single. That means God, in his wisdom, has made it wherein there's a yin and a yang. There's two. God said the two becomes one. But let me be clear on this. Most of us were born one. So God understands that you start out as an individual person, and you grow and you develop and you meet a second person that you think that you can take this life journey with, and you get married before God and before silver court, and the two becomes one before the eyes of God because there's a synergy. That's God's mathematics. But until then, you must make a choice to be single and not settle for selfish men or women, because it's rarely women. And I feel badly to seem like I'm talking about men, but men know it. Men know that they're selfish.
That's what I was gonna say. We should do a whole podcast on like how to identify an F-boy, because that is when you're invested and you're thinking that this is a potential mate, what a huge waste of time.
But I said that by single by choice to encourage people who are single, because they are not settling for men who are cheating on them while telling them, baby, I love you, I bought you an engagement ring. An engagement ring does not say that he's not going to cheat on you. I had a client whose man bought her a ring here about a month ago. And like a day or two after that, she went over and she found him in the bed with someone else, an old girlfriend. At the same time, he had given her a ring. He later said he still wanted to marry her. My point being, don't settle. He is not the marrying kind. Not at this point in his life. Maybe sometimes in the future when I don't want to say when you grow up. Hey, people can be 100 years old, and I've seen old men still trying to be a player. It comes a time when you want to be an ethical person, a man of your word, a woman of your word, a moral person, where you decided that I say what I mean what I say. If I say I love you, I want to be in this marriage with you, just the two of us, that you just do what you say you're going to do. And until then, if a man or a woman does not want to honor their commitment, I think it's very good to be single by choice.
Now, what do you say about people, in particular women, who are single by choice, and they're like, well, see, that's why you're single, because you're too independent. I can't ever do anything for you because you're so, and you can go to the beach by yourself. You can buy this by yourself, and that's why you're single.
You know what? I heard Steve Harvey say this before, and I agree with him. He's a listen women. Hey, Steve, I'm calling you out. Steve Harvey said this, and I agree with Steve Harvey. And I don't want these Steve Harvey hating people to contact me about this. Whether you hate Steve Harvey or like Steve Harvey still said this, and it is the truth. He said, women, you are the prize. And that's what women have to do. You have to realize, men too, but I'm talking to women because they seem to have the problem. They're the one buying the magazines, going to these seminars and networking places looking for a man. So that means they're serious about relationship. Steve said you are the prize, and he is right. You are the prize. Even if you're a man, you are the prize too. If you don't want to be no cheap a clearance rack, last chance prize, you gotta value yourself to know your worth. And that way, if you know your worth, you can be okay. You can be happy with being single by choice. Because when it is that time for you to get married, the person that's for you will be available, because he's going to see you shining. He's going to see you believing in the person that you are. You can be intelligent, loving, not extremely thirsty. That you're okay with your singleness. Yeah, I can do all of that by myself. I can go to the beach by myself, but I would love to have someone to go to the beach with me. But if not the right person, if I'm going to have crazy, I'm going to the beach, bringing a picnic, I'm bringing food, but you didn't bring nothing? You brought nothing to the picnic table? I'm like Henny Penny. I grew it, I harvested it, I baked it, now I'm going to eat it. All by my single self, single by choice.
So that's what I'm saying. So is single by choice a euphemism for independent woman? Is that what it is?
I don't think it. You should always be an independent woman until it's time for you to get married. It's okay to be independent. In fact, if you are a adult person, you should be independent. You shouldn't be dependent on others for your life subsistence, for your survival. You got to know that you determine the outcome of your life. So there's nothing wrong with being independent. It's the fact that when you get married or you decide to get engaged, you start in that process of becoming interdependent. That when you start merging together, the two begin to walk as one. So,
single by choice is not a bad thing. It's a good thing.
I think it is a good thing under most all. I can't think of a situation when that's a smart person. When you have made a conscious decision, not single because, I'm so desperate, I can't find nobody. Men always cheating on me. They want me to take care of them. I'm not taking care of anybody but my children. And I'm not going to take care of them when they turn 18 and graduate high school. They need to get a job. And these men that's trying to get these women out there to take care of them, or at least to treat them to a dinner and a movie. No, we either going to go Dutch. That means I pay my way, you pay your way, or you can pay the whole thing. But one thing that's going to be sure, women, do not pay for a man's meal on a date.
Hold on. But what if, I have 2 points on this. What if the woman makes much more than the man? Because, women are leaning in, being CEOs and whatnot, So what if the woman has more financial means than the man? And she you don't got it like that. So is it a problem if she pays for the meal?
Yes, because that's how you ferret out F boys, F men. If he lets you, because if I was a man, or even a woman, if I was a single woman, this how you know gold diggers and F boys. Maybe that should be the podcast. F gold diggers and F boys.
Right.
F men.
Boys. Because if you were a real man, you wouldn't be doing boyish stuff like that.
Okay. And if you wasn't a gold digger, you wouldn't be digging, trying to take somebody's money. You should want to go Dutch. Like I said, I don't agree with everything Steve says, but I do listen to him, and I'm a woman of a certain age too, and I disagree with Steve to the point of he said men should pay. I think a man can pay if he wants to. But if not, when I was dating my husband, when we were dating, I went Dutch until he told me I'd pay. And when he told me he would pay, I most certainly allowed him to pay. But before he said I'd pay, I had no expectation that he would pay. Because for one thing, I didn't want him to have expectations of me. Like, I pay for your meal. Now that means I'm going to get some sex later on tonight. Honey, I'm not that cheap. You're going to pay $50, $60, maybe even $120. And you think that means that equals sex? No, it does not. So we're going Dutch, boy.
So I guess my second point in this whole thing, because you said to go Dutch and everything, and that being single by choice is not a euphemism for being an independent woman. In fact, that is being smart. How does someone who's single by choice re-enter the dating field?
Single by choice does not mean that you ever left the dating field.
Okay.
It just means that you're not looking to get married. You're not, just need me to, hopefully I find me a good man in church. Devil's in church too.
Oh, you never.
So you can't leave your brain at the church door or leave your brain at the altar.
Never lied.
When you're dealing with relationships, take your heart and your brain with you and use both, because God did not just give you a brain, he gave you a heart. So you can't just say, I got to use my brain. You can't just use your heart, because God gave you a brain too. That's how you can ferret out these F-boys and these gold-digging girls. You got to bring your brain and your heart everywhere you go, including church.
Okay. Are there any last points you want to make on this, on single by choice?
I want to say I appreciate the women, and I may have gone a little left field. I appreciate the women and the men who have made a conscious, mature decision to work on themselves. That, like, I'm not desperate for someone. Someone comes along as I do things to make me happy, advancing my degree, advancing my career, working with my children. It could be a woman that's already have children, or a man. I have men I know who are single fathers. I'm working on myself to take care of my children. I'm not looking for somebody else to take care of my children. I'm taking care of my children. So I'm single by choice. If someone comes along, well, he's got to be able to meet criteria that any adult person, including myself. I would not write a list that a man should do this, a man should do that, unless I'm willing to meet those criteria too. What you expect from somebody else, you should have that. You know, you can't want something from somebody else that you don't possess. If you want an honest man, you got to be honest. If you want a man making six-figure salaries, you should be up there, very close to it yourself. You know, you want someone to walk side by side with you, not someone to be dragging you along, single by choice.
Okay, that's it for Real Talk for Real People, where we're always keeping it real in regards to love, families, relationships, with a biblical perspective. Please follow us on our social media platforms. On Instagram, we're at I Am the Marrying Kind, and on Facebook, please like and follow our page, The Marrying Kind Inc. Also, we want to hear from you guys. If you have any questions, concerns, or comments, please DM us on Instagram or send us an email at info@IamTheMarryingKind and let us know what's on your mind, and we'll discuss it on the podcast. So until next time, we'll see you next week.